In Sketch, when a girl's sketchbook of monsters falls into a mysterious lake, all of them come onto life, but when the town descends into chaos, this girl's family must unite together to stop what they didn't mean to bring out. Hi everyone, welcome to Cinema, where we focus on a film. I'm Josh, this is Simply Cinema. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of Sketch. Was it good, was it bad, or somewhere right in the middle? Or if you're waiting for this review to decide if you're going to see it or not, and take it and write in a positive. Sketch is a very vibrant, very fun, and family-centered film that has a lot of deeply thought out themes that hit on the emotions in all of the right beats for the proper pacing that is all deliberately going on throughout. It's a family film that really goes on to heavy subject matters such as trauma, such as grief, and the loss of a parent that really dives deep into the sentiment that's building off of, and it hits harder with those themes than you might expect, which is very important for those that haven't lost a parent or have recently maybe need to have this type of film come into their life to be able to express their feelings, because that's the thematic balance that this film goes into, is the moment that you really express your feelings, the counseling that goes on behind it, and there's a twist within that theme that really showcases the real lesson of this film. And it doesn't really dumb it down, but it still makes it clear and evident to the answers that this film is expressing to adults and kids alike, that you can really express yourself in all of the best ways. But of course, this film is still a kid's film at heart. It's expressive, it's imaginative, with this girl that's just spilling out her feelings, drawing all these monsters, these dark thoughts that she's putting out onto the page, that there's this mysterious lake involved, that once the sketchbook falls in, these monsters are coming to life, having all these strange and different designs that makes it more vibrant, more elaborate within the way it's going about its initial premise, making it enjoyable, and the casting is pretty dang good. What we get out of Tony Hale, great as a father, and the fatherhood that's all leading on, it's very compelling to be had, and having these kid actors do have a good prominent part of the performance, not just as an impact as characters, but they have a good duration of the film to be showing their acting skills, doing well with this brother and sister acting together, and then this other kid that comes along the ride. They don't necessarily agree with him, don't necessarily follow him all the time, but being able to enjoy that sentiment, the different bickering and arguments of kids. They aren't kids that are written to be annoying as some kids might be in certain situations, but they are still settled down, and the comedic beats to this film really delivers well. I found myself laughing quite a bit at what they were trying to handle on with this situation, which of course, in contrast to the heavy themes, creates a lively environment that still deliberates on some fun moments for anyone to enjoy, that really showcases a grand scale of both the good and the ugly side of what human life is all about, and all having a mixture of these monsters that are coming about along the way. There's nothing that's always a sentiment of true danger to these characters, but for a family film, it's something that you're enlightened by, something you can enjoy, while still having some ambiance to this horror aspect, that there is a sentiment of horror to this film, whether it's within the daunting music that's involved, or within the emotional beats that is all going on with these monsters getting really close to being a threat to all of these characters involved. Which takes me into the mixed elements. There's something about this film that's over dramatic in some of the right ways, but also some of the wrong ways. It's very weird, because when you're blending in some super serious things and also having these lighthearted moments, you don't expect it to feel fully forced onto the way that it's trying to act mature within, whether it's strong music score or just the fact that these are scary monsters in a fun way that you're almost weirdly mixed on what the factor of this film is all leaning into. Yes, you're not really scared about the design, but everything that's all leading on through what the manipulation of everything that's happening in the background in the production of this film creates this scary atmosphere within some showcases of what this film is leading on to be. So it's a weird blend that's overly dramatic, almost unnecessarily, which, like I mentioned, can be good in some of the best ways because it makes it to be feeling fresh and more original as a concept, but also is offbeat by just what it's doing with its tonal shifts from good and lively to the dark and heavy themes that are all being involved. As per usual, when there's a lot of comedy to a film such as this one, there's going to be some people that are loving it all the way through, and some people that just don't connect to this form of comedy, especially in contrast to the deeper themes that are involved. Not every joke hit for me, so there's not necessarily everything that's going to be a wonder for everyone else, and whether it really handles itself well, it could be, of course, enlightening for a child that's being able to learn these lessons while also having a good time with the jokes. But there's just also an annoyance that I particularly had with some of the jokes, whether it's these kids trying to get along and it's almost unnatural in some sort of way, or there's also an idea where this dad is trying to sell the house. He's supposed to stay out of the house whenever the retailer is trying to set it up for the people that are trying to buy it, and he's constantly running in the house trying to get something at the exact moments that he could have waited only 20 or so minutes that it would take to showcase the house. And it's a constantly running joke that, of course, I would normally put this in the negatives, but because I recognize it acted as a joke, I'm just saying that it could work wonderfully for some people. It could get you laughing out loud every time it happens. But for me in particular, it found it more annoying, and I feel that's something that could be the same vibe for some other people that just have the same comedy kick as what I have. Which takes me into the negatives. Whether it's some of the offbeat moments, the tonal shift, other things involved, there's not a lot that weighs this film down for its intentions, and there's not a lot that I would nitpick just for the sake of nitpicking, because this is a family fun-centered film, which I'm not always geared toward watching. I'm not always open toward each and every tiny detail for the bits of comedy, which I can be particular on, so I'm not going to be harsh by the sentiment, and it's not hard to do that either, because this will be still an enjoyable ride for what I got out of it and being able to enjoy the sentiments all involved. But because all of the little annoyances, things here and there that took away some of the experiments, some of the things that there were jump scares that felt like the typical horror tropes that you don't necessarily want to see in horror movies, and seeing it played out here within an overdramatic type of film, there's just something that's really weird that for a family film, you would have jump scares that would scare kids even more so, because that's not necessarily something you expect within a kid's film, even though there's not a strong sentiment to the danger that is involved, though some people will feel that sense that if they're not familiar with horror films, this is a kids version level of a horror film where there's not blood or gore, any of that, but there still is a sense to the music building up the tension of scary monsters all getting involved, almost being life-threatening to our main characters. So there's just a weird mix that's all involved that I ultimately enjoy this film for all the positives that I can remark on, but there's also some little things, little details here here and there, and an overall atmosphere that kind of takes it back just a bit. So that's just my personal thoughts on Sketch, which I have to rate on simply 7 out of 10. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of Sketch. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Or is it somewhere right in the middle? Or if you're waiting for this review to decide if you're going to see it or not, make sure to like this video if you enjoy it, subscribe if you haven't already to join in film culture community where we talk about the love of cinema as a whole. So that's just all, and make sure to do yourself a favor and go watch a movie.